Ladies and gentlemen, I am Internal42 and welcome to another new series on the channel. This is coming out every Monday, as you can already tell from this first one. And today we're in Minecraft, and we are in this massive landscape I've made. I'll probably show a map on screen right now of how big this is. We are only in a very small part of this map. It is it's massive, and the area we're in specifically is the ice spikes biome that I made, and there's mountains surrounding this area. There's mountains in this area, and there's this giant crater down here. My render distance is somewhat low-ish, but it's also not at the same time. I am in the center of this area, and the size of these cliffs and everything are absolutely huge when you walk up close to them. And as you can see, I've already started something. I accidentally got carried away with building. This is the town hall for what we're working on today, which, as you can see from the front here, if you can't tell, this is a orc town hall, and it is inspired by a mixture of things, but mainly the town hall from Warcraft 3, because that's a game I used to play a while ago, and I liked it. Now, I did have to cut it from the floor because it was down there, but then I realized that I wanted to do a similar thing to what the town hall in Warcraft 3 has, which is the log base, so I had to move it, and also I had to stop building because I was like, if I continue building, I'm not going to have anything to show. So, I mean, this is going to have to be moved and lowered down potentially, or I might just delete it and rebuild it, kind of, maybe, because I don't fully understand how world edit works yet. I have an axe here. This lets me select the area, and this is the area. I just don't quite understand where the paste point is, because I thought it was this, but it's not. It's higher than this, but it is this corner, which really confuses me. So I mean, I'll have to like basically sit down and place it and fiddle with it for a bit. So essentially what we're starting with is a orc war camp, because I like orcs, and they have like a really interesting weird architecture, and I decided that it would be a cool idea to have the orcs in the ice spikes, because it's a wasteland essentially, but it's not like the usual wasteland that an orc camp or whatever would be in. It would usually be in like a weird deserty area or something, and I was just like, the orc stuff just feels like it would suit a snowy environment. So I decided, why not just make a secluded part of the map that only has two entrances. One is over here. Well, this is an entrance, but this is the sea, which there's some icebergs over there. A lot of the vegetation I've placed in, like, I mean, I'm classing icebergs and ice spikes as vegetation. There are some, like, schematics that people got from vanilla Minecraft, and I just place it in and fiddle with the settings on World Painter. But that's the sea entrance, which I'm probably going to do something to do with docks for the orcs, because, I mean, why would they not have boats? Orcs have boats. I've seen many boats, though, orc boats. Yeah, so here's the other entrance. This is a snowy tundra with ice spikes in it as well, because I felt like it was missing something, and just having trees wasn't enough. So I slapped in those as well. But essentially that's how everything is. You can kind of see the sheer scale of these cliffs. Like, I didn't think they were this big, but I don't mind them being this big. And I think you can still climb them as well. To break reality, if I just go like this, you can see there's a giant sea out here, but this is the thing. The entire side of the world is just a sheer face. And because it's a rectangle, it's like this all the way around. But yeah, we're basically going to quickly go ahead and build the base of this thing and place it down. And then I'll come back afterwards, probably fiddle with a few things on it. And then after that, there'll be more time lapses of me finishing this and building other things. And that'll probably be split up amongst multiple days, maybe? I don't know. I'll see you after the time lapse. Okay, so that was that part of the time lapse of this build, and I hope you enjoy how everything looks so far, because this has taken a lot of effort just to slap things together, and it also doesn't help when I accidentally forget to unpause the recording of the replay mod whenever I go into things, because I'm pretty sure I skipped an entire segment where those banners were built. But I'm basically going to talk about a few things I've done here with these banners, since I'm pretty sure I skipped them. I originally made one banner design, but then I was like, it's too small and it doesn't really showcase what I want properly. So what I did was I went ahead and I was like, you know what, I'll make it bigger. And I was like, how can I make it flow in the wind how I want it without it ruining this completely? I mean, this is not exactly what I want, but I can't really do much about it because of how Minecraft functions. And obviously this would look way too weird and awkward if it was too far away. So we got a log that's got these chains, which are actually iron fences, because we're not in 1.16, we're in 1.14. And it kind of like flows inwards, and because it's got these licks at the bottom, usually when you see a flag do a wavy thing, it'll kind of like wave like this. And to show that movement, what I did was I kicked out the little flicks at the bottom, and it is kind of similar to what I did on the other side, where I reversed it because the wind's blowing this way. It blows out and it kicks like this. So that's essentially what it's doing. So you can imagine the movement of that flag is somewhat similar, where it's like it kind of just goes swoosh, swoosh, swoosh at the bottom, and then this bit goes like that, but in the kind of alternate way. And obviously all I had to do was copy and paste those over. Apart from this one, I kind of redid it because the issue is this, which obviously it's nice to show that it's smacking into building it has like physical attributes in the world, but it's really annoying when I want to copy it because I can't copy it with World Edit because it's completely different on the other side. So yeah, I had to fix that. I also piled up snow on the sides because I wanted it to feel more like it was in the snowy environment for a while and it's not just been put here. Because if it's been here for a while, snow's going to pile up on the sides. And it's the same with the top, it's going to build up on here as well. And I got these giant torches that are on the pillars because I was like, it kind of feels like it's missing something. So I did that. These right here are giant bones. Those were here before I built it. And these campfires are basically just miniature versions of these, because I felt like it worked better for this small little bit. Because they're kind of like torches, but not as small, they're bigger, which is what I needed. And obviously you can see these flags are the exact same. They're even the exact same orientation. I didn't even realize that. I think I might have done that on purpose and just didn't realize, but yep. But essentially what we got to do next is build up this roof a bit, and then put another tier on. And I think once that's done, I'll happily go around and fiddle with the sides of the buildings and add details and things to make it better. But the one issue I have is I can't actually put detail in on the walls by digging things out like I did with the floor here, because you probably won't be able to notice this fully, but there's a bit of depth, and that's because it's grass paths and coarse dirt, and they're kind of like working together to do a thing. Also, you might notice the shaders are different. The shaders I had on were the Chocopolic was what I started with, but I noticed a weird strange issue, and it's that the fire didn't glow. Like it was weird. It's like they shaded the fire for some reason, which didn't make any sense. So like the fire looked like really wrong, whereas these shaders actually leave them to glow, which I don't know if that's an issue with the shaders themselves, or if there was like some setting or something that I need to change that would have fixed that. But I mean, even then, even with that, it doesn't seem like there's any light coming off of the fires to like light up this area. Okay, so it does glow. It's just not noticeable in the morning. So that's essentially where the sun is going to sit behind that mountain gloriously for like the remainder of everything. This staircase is kind of my own sort of play on the weird staircase they have on the front of the town hall in World of Warcraft. In Warcraft 3, not World of Warcraft. I've never played that one. Yeah, but the one in the game is weird because it's a lot steeper, so I couldn't exactly get the exact kind of similar thing to it, but I could get something close enough and add my own sort of details to it, because obviously I felt that the one from the game was lacking slightly and didn't have as much stuff. I still think that I might need to throw some more bones around, but I'm not sure yet. We'll have to figure that out later when I actually have the remainder of the building set up. Yes, I'll see you after another time-lapse, where I might potentially be explaining what I'm doing there. I have no idea. So, we're here again, and as you can see, the building looks a lot more orcish now. Obviously, you could see that throughout the entire thing, but yeah, and I was probably explaining things. Now, all I've got left to do is, generally, I don't think this sandstone stuff works. I don't think it works for this build, and I feel like it needs to be changed to something else, but I need to figure out what I need to change it to, because I don't know what yet. So I kind of did like it at first, but then it's like, it's kind of way too bright for what I want and way too clean. There's also the additional fact that I would like to find something to replace the quartz that the bones are made out of, because I didn't like the red that was wrapping around the bones, because it made everything look like candy canes, which I didn't really want, which really does not help when we're in a snowy biome, where the candy canes are going to look even more like candy canes. But essentially, there's like a few things I have to tweak. We got black instead of red for the kind of leathery ropes that are wrapped around the bones, holding them together to things, which is exactly like what a lot of other, like all the drawn inspirations I have going on for them. Like this build is like a weird merger of multiple images that I have that are related to orc stuff, and I think it's pretty good. I'm actually impressed that I managed to make something this good. I was also like kind of questioning how the hell I'm going to make the bones, and apparently I actually managed to do it after tweaking and fiddling for a while, because I was originally going to use the bone blocks, which I deleted and don't have anymore. Yeah, but I was going to originally use those, but it didn't quite work out because it was weird. Now obviously it's not the best thing with how all this is set up and how it's like pushed off a bit, but I think it kind of works actually. Like surprisingly, it kind of works, because it makes it seem more like this platform is a support, raising it up because the chieftain is important, and the orc chieftain wants to show off that he's the biggest, baddest dwarf in the center of the town. I did obviously do a bit of stuff in here. It's going to remain empty because I don't think interiors are something I'm going to be doing in this series, otherwise this will take way too long. But it's got multiple floors, and I'll probably put like the world up for download at some point with like these things going on. I feel like I should do it like every 10 episodes. So this first episode is going to have the blank world, so you can just do whatever you want with it. But every 10 episodes there'll be an update to the world. Well, not an update to the world, but there'll be like a new version released of this world with stuff added to it, and then you could probably go ahead and fiddle with all the stuff on the inside and make everything look like something. Now, I don't quite know what else I want to do to this build. There is a thing I want to do over here somewhere where I want to build another separate platform, and this platform would have a like giant horn on it, and that would be for the chieftain to just call upon the other orcs and get them all into this like area that's going to be over here. There's like a kind of center in a way, the closest thing you can get to a town center for the orcs, that's probably decorated with bones and other things and just skulls and stuff, because they're orcs. They celebrate fighting. Fighting is what they exist for, and to be honest, everything that they have comes second to that, which is why the chieftain does not sit here and complain about the fact he has a dirt floor. What he cares about is that he's the biggest, strongest guy, and if someone fights him in this place, it's going to be hella easy to fix. Like, you could literally, you could put a throne here, he'd be sat in it, some weird skull throne or something. Someone comes in to fight him, he's gonna deal with it like a piece of cake, and be able to fix everything up afterwards. And he's not going to care about the blood either, because he's an orc. Why would he care about that? These are the things you got to think about when it comes to orc architecture, because in the end, all they want to do is just sit somewhere and wait for someone to fight them. And all of orc culture is based off of this. The stronger you are, the higher ranking you are. The weaker you are, the lower ranking you are. So essentially that's how I've got to build this in mind. So like bigger buildings would be for the tougher, stronger orcs, those who would probably be technically lackeys to the main chieftain, but doesn't mean any less that they're not going to attack him, because they still will, because they want to be the chieftain, they want to be the man in charge, and they want to be the strongest orc in the land. So everything they focus on and do things with is all about building up their strength, becoming stronger, and fighting each other, and fighting others. Which makes perfect sense as to why they'd be in a frozen wasteland, because why not show how strong you are by being sat in like the most cold place you could possibly be, because that means you can just survive this without caring. And if you can do that, you're good enough to live as an orc. Other than that, you're just as bad as a goblin, because it's pretty obvious that orcs are going to have a strong rivalry with goblins, because goblins are just weak creatures that these orcs would like to beat up and be rid of, because they're essentially rats to them. They have a hatred for humanity as well. They have a hatred for everything, including each other, but they hate goblins the most, and that's how it's gonna be. So I'm probably going to continue with this tomorrow, because I do not have much time left today, and there's like quite a few things I'm going to be doing today. But the next time-lapse will be focusing on me adding details to this, and also probably building the horn, maybe. This is like a massive like time-lapse heavy video, and every single other one is well. Especially when I start getting to like the mini buildings, where I'm just going to be slapping together like a million different buildings. They're all small, because that's where the weak boys live. But yes, I'm going to go and do things, and I'll see you after the time-lapse. Okay, so we're back again. Everything is laggy as hell right now, and it's very strange, but that's fine. So here is the beautiful horn. I've probably already explained stuff about it during the time-lapse, so I'm not going to say anything else. I'm pretty sure I've probably explained this as well. I'll have to figure out afterwards. But we've got pretty much most of this build done. It's only taken a small amount of time to do. It's actually quicker to finish than I thought, and it also turns out that this like indentation in the floor is smaller than I thought, but it's still pretty big. I'd be able to fit like some smaller orcish huts around here that have dudes in it, the big strong boys, and then like other roads going along and doing things. Like, the main thing here is I've got to figure out how the hell I'm going to design the courtyard, because I don't know if I'm going to do that today and do it alongside this, because I feel like I have a lot of footage and it might be too much, and I do need to work on the time-lapse footage so I can get it all done quickly, because the replay mod takes a while sometimes to render things, which is a slight issue, especially if I end up being slow on doing things. I'm pretty happy with everything that's gone on here. I am slightly annoyed by this, but there's not much I can do about it. Like, I mean, it's a massive horn. I feel like I could easily just remove this banner, but then it'd just seem really weird if there's nothing there. Because obviously the reason there's nothing on these is that they are literally here to support this platform, and also some of them are here to support the horn, so they wouldn't actually have fires on them. And also because this area doesn't really matter. This isn't where he lives. He lives over here. That's just a platform where he just calls everyone to. He doesn't need to see. He just goes to the horn, blows it, and it's done. So I feel like I've pretty much completed this build. There's nothing else that I can think of that would work with this. I've gotten all the bricks and things that I need to make this look good. I've got all the right materials. Like, nothing seems out of the ordinary anymore. It all seems fine. The only thing that is a bit weird is the light blue glass, the icicles on the side of the building, because they've textured them with this, and it's just kind of annoying, because you'd think they'd realise that people use light blue glass to make icicles, but apparently not, so they turned it into like a church window, which is kind of annoying. Like, I feel like they could have thought of something for when they're in their singular form. They could have made it look like an icicle or something, because, I mean, you could even do that in vanilla without having to use the connected textures mod. Oh god, that's completely professional. Yeah, so there's not really much else to discuss. This build's pretty much done. All I gotta do is add the courtyard and then we got a fully complete build. Although obviously, as I said, the courtyard probably won't get built today. So yes. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'll see you in the next one where we start work on the courtyard and hopefully some other builds as well, because I should hopefully have more time, because I won't be focusing on trying to finish building the map. So, goodbye.